I'm John Harvey, and the 12th and last of the Resnick novels is called Darkness, Darkness. Real crime, real people, real world.
So John, how long have you and I known one another?
Longer
I'm not asking because I've forgotten.
Yeah, I have. Longer than we both would want to remember.
I would walk past your house taking my kids to school every morning, and there was one point I distinctly remember walking past you, because I hadn't published any books by then, but I knew who you were, and I'm going, that was John Harvey, should I say something? But it'll just be naff. I'll go, oh, I'm trying to get a crime novel published, John, and you'd think I was some kind of stalker or something. But then, like about a year and a half later, 2 years later, we met at some festival or convention.
That's right.
Like that. So what would you have been writing around that point, going back sort of 15 years, putting you on the spot here?
I would have been writing one of the Resnick novels.
One of the Resnicks?
Almost certainly, yeah. Because that's a long span.
10 Resnicks on the trot.
10 Resnicks on the trot, and then a gap of 10 years before I wrote Cold in Hand.
Yeah.
And then another like 3 or 4 years before the new book, Darkness, Darkness.
And had you thought, when you finished the last of that decalogue of Resnicks, that you would go back to him? Was it always in the back of your mind?
No. I thought that was it. Because I don't know what you felt when you started doing the Thorn books, but I thought 10 books. That's great. And people who I'd read, like those Swedish guys whose names I can't pronounce. Them. They'd done 10 books. Yeah. So I thought, great, 10 books. So when I got that far, I thought that was it. And I'd started writing the books about Frank Elder. And I didn't think I'd go back to Resnick at all.
What were you starting to feel 10 books into a series?
Boredom.
Yeah.
A mixture of boredom and the fact that you're on a bit of a treadmill. I used to feel anyway that it was getting a bit too samey, it was getting a bit too repetitious.
Well, of course, there is the wonderful dilemma to have, which is that readers of series are very loyal, which is the nice thing, but what they tend to want is a book that's not too different from the one before. They want boxes ticked. They want to see some of the same
exactly.
things.
You've got to go and feed the damn cats, or you've got to, you've got
sandwiches, tick, jazz, tick.
Exactly. I think that's a real problem for all of us who write series, because as you say, in a way, what the readers want and what you want are often diametrically opposed. You don't want to keep rewriting the same thing too close to what it was before.
I remember writing a book that I consciously wanted to be very different in the series, very different to the one before. And the first review said, "What a shame Billingham has changed a winning formula."
Yeah.
And I remember staring at that review thinking, but that's the whole point.
Yes.
It was a formula, so I wanted to change it. And that's one of the perils, isn't it?
Yeah.
So after you brought Resnick back for Cold in Hand, and you'd written Cold in Hand, did you think that was it, that you were then going to leave Charlie alone?
11's not a good number.
What an unlucky number.
It's good for a football team, and it's good, it's good for a cricket team, but I don't know, something nicer about 12 than 11. I thought I needed the dozen. But I didn't know what that was going to be.
Right.
I had a conversation with the writer David Peace, who'd written a wonderful book that you and I both know about, the miners' strike, GB84. And we were in the crime festival in Lyon, in France, probably 3 years ago now, and just chatting to him and so on. And it just occurred to me that because the miners' strike, I was in Nottingham when that was happening. Obviously, I wasn't involved, but I was aware of the strike and the effect it was having upon the community and upon people. And I thought, well, that would have been a really important part of Resnick's life as a policeman. He would have been a youngish policeman, but would have been involved. And I thought, what would he feel now about what the police did in the miners' strike? What he did in the miners' strike? How would he feel about that? And so I talked to David about that. And I said, look, maybe, do you think this is a good idea to do a crime novel based on the miners' strike? And could I do that? And he said, yeah, do it. You've got to do it because people need to keep writing about it.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, it's still an important thing. In people's lives, in British social history, political history, whatever, it's a really important moment.
Well, reading the book, I was amazed at how fresh it felt, despite how long ago it was. Yeah. It kind of feels like yesterday. You remember it so strongly. You remember all the stuff on TV and the Battle of Orgreave and all that kind of stuff. So going back to Resnick for Darkness, Darkness again, pulling on a comfortable overcoat. You sort of felt you knew where he was, and
I think so. And the other thing, see, I knew this was going to be the last book, and it's going to be his last case, more or less. We're both, shuffling off towards retirement. We're both going to go and put our feet up and play our jazz records and, just take it easy and let the world continue around us in its 21st century way.
And did that weigh on you at all as you were writing?
No. I thought that's a blessing. I thought this is going to be wonderful. we're both going to retire and rest and enjoy life.
Because that is one of the things that happens when you're writing a series, isn't it? That you get 3/4 of the way through a book and you're already starting to think, where's this character going to be?
Absolutely.
You know, the seeds of the next one are already starting to... Whereas you didn't have any of them. I would have thought it was quite liberating then.
It's very liberating. It felt really good when I was doing it. And I actually felt, you know, when I got to write the last scene of the last chapter, I'm leaving him there kind of poised, looking on and ready to step back and relax and enjoy the rest of his life. And me too.